Right now, Governor Bel Edwards is holding a media briefing about the state of Louisiana's response to Hurricane Ida. Take a listen.
I want to direct to them. I want to start by acknowledging that today is the one-year anniversary of Hurricane Laura. And while much progress has been made, there's still a long road of recovery left as it relates to the recovery from Hurricane Laura, particularly in southwest Louisiana. And here we are today, faced with another storm setting its sights on Louisiana, this time southeast Louisiana. We have some very significant updates for you. What I can tell you is Hurricane Ida is rapidly intensifying, and the situation is changing, it seems, by the hour. We now believe that there is a strong likelihood that this will be a Category 4 hurricane at landfall. That's how quickly the storm is developing. I can tell you that I had an opportunity a short while ago to speak with the National Hurricane Center, Ken Graham, and he indicated that the storm is sort of ahead of schedule, meaning they had projected it would be at a certain strength at a certain time, and is beating those projections. And what this means is the rapid intensification is happening as was expected. It's just happening to a greater degree, or at least faster than expected. So we have a very serious situation on our hands, and it's important that everyone take advantage of all the opportunities that you have, all the time that you have to adequately prepare yourself and your family, and make sure that you stay calm and that you do those things that are required to put you and your family in the best possible position to successfully weather the storm. Hurricane Ida is presently projected to make landfall somewhere between Terrebonne and St. Mary parishes on Sunday evening. By tomorrow night, tropical storm force winds will begin to move onto the coast of Louisiana. And so the next 24 hours are very, very important. Now is the time to finish your preparations. And I want to encourage everyone to understand that by nightfall tomorrow night, you need to be where you intend to ride out the storm, and you need to be postured as you would want to be as that storm approaches you. Make sure that you're paying attention to your family, to your pets, to elderly loved ones and neighbors. Last night, I was able to send a letter to President Biden requesting a pre-landfall federal emergency declaration. I'm very pleased to announce that he approved it earlier today, and we are very grateful for the fact that he approved it, and he did so very quickly. I was able to speak to the president just a few moments ago, and I will tell you, I was able to thank him personally, but this declaration is a key part of us being able to respond to Hurricane Ida and really to prepare in advance of landfall. Yesterday, as you all probably know, I also issued a state of emergency declaration for the state of Louisiana. And so both my declaration and the federal declaration issued by the president are for the entire state of Louisiana. As it happens, yesterday I was in Lake Charles with Administrator Criswell of FEMA at the time that we received the weather briefing, 10 o'clock yesterday morning, which was the first time that we really received notice of a forecasted storm that could be a hurricane when it hit Louisiana, and we were able to start our coordinations and communications at that time. Earlier today, I was with Health and Human Services Secretary Becerra in New Orleans as well, and able to thank him for his disaster medical assistance teams and all of the assets that they had previously sent to Louisiana with respect to the COVID emergency that are going to be much more important now, that they're going to continue to work in their capacity as COVID, but as this storm develops. And then there are additional HHS resources that are being brought to bear right now as it relates to the storm. So I had an opportunity to coordinate with him as well. At this time, I'm going to ask Ben of the National Weather Service to come up and give us all the latest on what is a very serious storm. And then I will come back up and give some additional remarks after that, and we will take questions as well. Ben? Oh, there you are.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone. Hurricane Ida has quickly developed into a hurricane way ahead of schedule, just like the Governor had mentioned. Right now, all forecasts tend to look that it will be a pretty strong Category 4 when it makes landfall on the coast of Louisiana sometime on Sunday afternoon or evening. At that time, it's possible that we could have sustained winds getting close to 140 miles per hour with wind gusts close to or in excess of 170 miles per hour. This is stronger than Laura from last year. This will be a life-altering storm for those who aren't prepared and ready to take what Ida is going to throw at us later this weekend. As you can see on the track here, it's going to be crossing across a pristine environmental conditions for a hurricane to continue to develop, if not rapidly develop, which is why we're pretty confident about the Category 4 forecast moving forward for landfall on Sunday. As the Governor mentioned, it looks to hit somewhere there close to the central portion of the coastline and then work its way into the central portion of the state. This is where I think we can remember a little bit about also what Laura did, because I think we'll see some similar conditions here, where when you have a storm moving at around 15 or so miles per hour directly into the center of the state, you are going to have a significant large path of wind damage, trees down, power outages, and concerns from that wind over 100 miles per hour working way inland. And I'll show some graphics to give the exact extent of that kind of push of the wind later on. There are multiple other threats with this storm. A lot of folks will focus on the category, and they should in this case, with it being a Category 4. It does have, obviously a significant wind threat, but there are other significant threats that are life-threatening as well, and I'll kind of work my way through some of those through the rest of the briefing here. As the Governor mentioned, this is the earliest time that we expect to see the beginning of conditions starting to deteriorate. If you notice on the graphic there, it shows it being somewhere late Saturday night into early Sunday morning, spreading into the state. The color part of the graphic there is the percentage that we will see tropical storm force winds. As you can see, almost all of southern and southeastern Louisiana are in excess of 70 or 80% chance for tropical storm winds at least. So this is definitely something for everyone to prepare for. I show this graphic here also to try to remove the I'm only interested in the center line part of the discussion. Again, the impacts on these storms can happen way away from the center and from the eye of this storm. And everyone must understand that and make sure you're prepared for what those impacts may be depending on where you are compared to the center line movement of the storm. Unfortunately, with the time of the new graphics just coming out, I have this just clipped, unfortunately, for southeast Louisiana, but there are hurricane warnings across almost all of southern Louisiana. And you can see some tropical storm just outside the state in Mississippi. The hurricane warnings do extend along the coast just a little bit further to the west, so I apologize for the graphic not showing it there. But it is time for people to start taking action. We are within just that last 24 to 36 hours at most before we're going to see tropical storm force winds taking over most of southern and southeastern Louisiana. When I was talking earlier about the wind threat and how far inland that it can push, everywhere in the purple is what we consider a potential for 110 mile per hour winds. So I want everybody to kind of get a feel for how far inland. That takes us all the way in to southwest Mississippi. So with the speed of the storm coming in and its strength being a fairly strong Category 4, it is possible that we could have winds in excess of 100 miles per hour push all the way from the coast all the way into Mississippi and portions of central Louisiana. And that is something that everybody, including Baton Rouge, Lafayette, you need to be prepared for that possibility this weekend. As you move a little bit further to the east, North Shore area of the New Orleans area there, Covington, Mandeville, Slidell, it's still possible you could see winds gusting from 74 up to over 100 miles per hour. Again, you do not have to be near the center of this storm to have significant impacts. Winds of 100 miles per hour will do significant damage to both trees and possibly the power grid for exposed lines. So for those who are in those areas, I would definitely consider in this time left to make sure that you have consideration for what you would do if you were without power as we move later on in the weekend. Surge is another devastating threat. It's probably one of the #1 killers when it comes to hurricanes and straw hurricanes. So across most of the southern and the southeastern portions of the coastline, we're talking about extreme surge. 10 to 15 feet surge possible from the mouth of Mississippi west to about Morgan City. From Morgan City to Intercoastal City, just a little bit less of that, roughly around 6 to 9, and then 3 to 5 to the Texas line. As you go the other way and you work your way from the eastern portion of the mouth and wrap around the boot up towards the tidal lakes, you can see 7 to 11 on the boot portion of the Louisiana coast, and then in the tidal lakes 4 to 7. So again, the extent of the impacts are going to be far away from where this makes landfall. So for anyone with coastal interests, understand that you will see a significant amount of water move in. And depending on how large the wind field grows to and the movement and speed, these numbers may increase as we move a little bit closer to the storm making landfall. So that is definitely something for folks to watch, because higher amounts like that obviously will bring a much larger amount of risk, especially possible in the tidal lakes area where there may not be a full levee system for everybody to be protected. Rainfall is another huge issue with this storm. We're talking 10 to 15 inches of rainfall over a large portion of southeastern Louisiana. There may be pockets of 15 to 20 plus, depending on the speed and location of these bands setting up. With the rainfall that we're expecting today, that happened already today, and tomorrow, on top of the effects from Ida itself, there could be significant inland river flooding. And so with that, everywhere that you see the purple there across southeast Louisiana is where we're looking for the possibility of extreme flooding to occur. This is right on the edge of the city of New Orleans, so obviously we could have some water problems there, and that'll be something we'll have to consider as well as things set up. But I just want to highlight again that it's not just the wind threat here that could do most of the devastation. It's the water threat that's usually one that ends up being the biggest killer. And unfortunately, a lot of people tend to try to move around when they start to get worried or scared as the storm starts to come in. And this is probably the worst time to move, especially with this coming in on Sunday evening, Sunday night. As you go in the nighttime, you do not want to be trying to drive around when we're seeing heavy rains that could be creating all sorts of river or flooding that could cause your car to go off the road and into water, and then unfortunately put you at severe risk for loss of life. So just a quick overview of the threats here. The confidence is fairly high on the track. The track really hasn't budged for the last day or two. We are becoming more and more certain when it comes to the intensity. That Cat 4 at landfall looks pretty much like it's a really solid forecast now. And with that, all the threats of a very large storm with a little bit larger wind field are in play with the surge and the heavy rainfall. The one other thing that I did not mention is the possibility of tornadoes as well. And so as this comes on shore, especially on the eastern side of the shore, which will encompass much of southeast Louisiana and portions of coastal Mississippi and southwest Mississippi, they'll be under the gun for possible tornadic spin-ups, which is very normal for landfalling hurricanes. So there are multiple threats. There are multiple things for people to be watching and keeping their eye on and making sure that they're prepared for. Because again, I'll start off with the same comment that I started with, I believe, unfortunately, this is going to be a life-altering storm for many people. And so the actions that you do now are what can prepare you to make sure that you can successfully navigate what Ida is going to throw at us. With that, thank you.
And so we've just heard an update and a live briefing from the Governor John Bel Edwards of Louisiana, as well as members of his meteorological team, talking about Hurricane Ida. And it will be a life-altering storm in the area. It will reach landfall at a Category 4 category, 110 mile per hour winds, hitting 70 to 75% of the area. And basically, people have to be prepared for heavy rainfall as well as possible tornadic activity. People need to start getting prepared right now for what could possibly be quite an impact on Louisiana as well as Mississippi.
And just a few days shy of 16 years, almost to the date, of Hurricane Katrina, and we all remember the devastation that resulted from that. So people, please take precaution and be safe. We'll be back with more World Tonight after this break.